Hi Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Stellium. This is your reading for May, just to check in with the energy and what's going on and what might come up. So Mercury's retrograde at the moment until the 14th, so that might mean kind of revisiting things, going back over things, people coming out from the past, kind of making mistakes and not really realizing that. Ooh, Jupiter in Pisces. Very nice. Okay, so there's also an eclipse on the 5th of May it's very similar to someone else's reading. Yeah, there's a lot of positivity here. There's an eclipse. Okay, there's an eclipse on the 5th of May in Scorpio, another water sign. So there'll be kind of maybe some changes that have been happening in that area of your life, and you may already know what that is, but this is the kind of last push of this, because this is the last in the series of eclipses in Scorpio. Whatever area of life that is for you. So it's kind of just wrapping something up. It's not going to be something super shocking or out of the blue. There's been a build up to this, or this might be just a closing out of it. But it does invite in change. And here you have the full moon in Taurus. You got to the full moon in Taurus, and be bold and make the first move. Interesting. So Taurus season is obviously very important for you. It's standing out because you've got Taurus here, which is the Hierophant, and you've also got the full moon in Taurus here. Now, the full moon in Taurus actually happens in October, November. Give me a second. Ahadi. So it's actually an eclipse on October 28th in Taurus, which is really interesting. So this Taurus Scorpio axis is really important for you right now, wherever that is in your chart. If you don't know where it is, you may have already noticed some things that have been going on in these two areas of your chart, because this is where we've had the two eclipses, which signify changes, upheavals, goodbyes, hellos, new beginnings, endings, this kind of thing. In this area of your life for the past 2.5, 3 years. So we have the Taurus eclipse here, October 28th, just to keep that in mind. And we also have the May eclipse in Scorpio on May 5th. So they're opposite each other, these two signs. So there's something that's going on in between these two signs, because you've got Taurus here. And it's Scorpio. The Scorpio eclipse is during Taurus season. So this is really something big happening here. You're being asked to be bold and make the first move. So there's obviously something, yeah. Oh, wow, look at that. You can see it's echoing the sun. And the sun is all about our identity, our self, our ego, our wants, our desires, our needs, who we truly are, and going after that unabashedly, being in joy and in happiness. I think there's a lot working out right now. Third house, your ideas, your opinions, your communication, what you read, who speaks to you, how you put your ideas out in the world, your neighborhood, your siblings, perhaps even cousins. So there's something around the way you think, or it could be kind of like school, day-to-day learning, kind of, if you're doing kind of like maybe an online course, but it's not for like a qualification, it's not like a higher level kind of a thing, it's maybe just for yourself. But it's also about kind of what information you're reading, what data you're exposed to, where are you choosing to put your energy or attention, and what opinions and attitudes have you formed from that. So this could be also around your neighborhood and your siblings and cousins. Sometimes it's aunts and uncles. There's something going on. There's a sudden ending and a sudden beginning, or vice versa. Or just some big change maybe going on in your neighborhood, or a big change going on in how you think about yourself, and this, or how you think. And this belief could come from believing yourself. It could be about your self-worth. It could be about your self-confidence. It could be about that. That could be kind of like the idea that is happening at the moment. You've got the 9 of emotions. Sorry, I'm just looking under here. There's an ending. Yeah. So I saw this one as well. So it's 10 of voices. There's an ending of something. There's an ending of a way of thinking, or there's an ending of some sort that has been impacting how you think about yourself or how you think about the world negatively. This way of thinking is ending, and it has kind of left you a bit kind of like destitute for a while, that you've kind of feel like, oh God, how could I ever recover from that? That was really awful. That was an awful lesson to learn. That was a really long, awful period of time. Or God, my negative thinking, or the negativity that surrounded me, has now left me feeling worthless, with nothing. And it seems like you've been feeling like that for a while. But that's in the past. That's underneath it all. This is where you've come from, and now there's something to do with the eclipses. Maybe over the past 3 years, you've been working on your thoughts. You've been working on how you think about yourself, because there's something extremely aligning happening here. I think your work is all paying off. You've got Jupiter in Pisces. Jupiter in Pisces happened, was that 2021? 2022? Jupiter in Pisces, where are we now? Jupiter is in Aries. Oh, Jupiter in Pisces just last year. Which is all about expansion of yourself. Like if you're a Pisces sun, or a Pisces rising, Pisces moon, where you've planets there, this is the expansion of yourself. Can be the expansion of your self-identity, the expansion of the belief in yourself. Something that's been happening over the past kind of like 2 years, maybe, if not 3, is this development and growth in you. So Jupiter in Pisces. There's this idea of, so the 9 of emotions is the 9 of cups, which is all about wishes coming true. It's wish fulfillment. And I think you've got 2 meditative people here. So she's here meditating. And I think you've put in an awful lot of work around meditation, or some spiritual practice. Could be yoga as well. Could be some healing modality or something like that. Could be just about this kind of like what do they call it, cognitive behavioral therapy, or just this kind of like way of controlling your mind. You could also be into kind of like lucid dreaming, or astrally projecting, or something like that. You're a dab hand at something. Like you've been practicing this, you've been doing this for a while, potentially 3 years, potentially 2 years, potentially 8 years, or potentially like 8 months or something, or else it is since last like August, September. This is the sun in Virgo. So the sun in Virgo is all about kind of extremely diligent, extremely detail oriented, motivated, critical thinker, and just is really into the mastering and perfection of a skill, or a mindset, or a way of being, or whatever it may be. And because of that, you've ramped up this. You're so good at this. It's kind of second nature to you. You could do it in your sleep now. You don't have to force yourself to do it. But which is amazing, because you came from here, and now it's kind of like you're here in the sun, in happiness, in joy, in self, in self-worth, and self-confidence. So this did definitely take a lot of work. Or will be taking an awful lot of work. I think you may have had a spiritual guru, or followed some philosophies or religious teachings, or maybe just a mentor or a therapist, or you were just reading or listening to someone's lectures. I think you also may have understood that you know, you are now the one who is embodying these teachings. You no longer really need to go to this mentor or teacher, perhaps, or maybe you are now becoming the mentor or the teacher, because you have the Hierophant here, and also Jupiter is also a mentor or teacher. You may now be the one who's expressing your opinions and imparting your wisdom, that you're the one who's teaching this. And it could be kind of in the realm of meditation or yoga or the healing modalities, or maybe just, I mean, it could be something to do with mindfulness or meditation or something like that, or just some kind of new way of being or thinking or teaching. We'll kind of have a look at what else that could be. But you're being asked to make the first move. Woo. Yeah, there's like an ending happening, and this is the ending. I think it's the ending. Ooh, okay, they're flying out. Yeah, there's the ending of this kind of unhealthy attachment to something, which is big. It's big. It could be this unhealthy attachment to kind of these urges that you have within you, or it could be a person. It could be an actual person. It could be this unhealthy attachment to ego. Sometimes the Knight of Wands is very egoic. But it's the end of this. You have choices, so it's the end of... Yeah, I think maybe you didn't know what you wanted before. I think you didn't know what you wanted before, and you were going here, there, and everywhere, and there was this attachment to these kind of like superficial things, and not knowing which way to go. And so now you've just left them behind. Like, those didn't work out. Something didn't work out with someone, maybe. Something didn't work out with a few things, a few opportunities that were there. There was kind of some confusion around a person, or some confusion around a project, or a relationship, or a way of being, or something, and you've kind of left that behind now. Now, it doesn't look completely awful. I think this is well in the past, this kind of like destitute, kind of, you know, just really being like lost and feeling so outside the warmth of like life. What is this Ace of Voices, this Ace of Wands? What is this Ace of Wands? Is the Earth Ace, well, Ace of Voices, but Two of Pentacles. Yeah, there's an idea that you've gotten now from your work, your spiritual work, or your meditative work, or just work, your self-care, your self-love, self-development, whatever you've been doing, whatever course you've been doing, whatever teachers you've been listening to. Because of that, you're standing in your power, and you're asked to make the first move, but it's a first move about an idea that you have about something, which could be teaching, or it could be about your opinions, or it could be an idea for your neighborhood, or in your neighborhood, or for your sisters. Maybe something you had thought about before, but now you're kind of just starting to get ready to move forward with it. However, you're going to have to make the first move, and you will be juggling two things at the same time. Yeah, you're going to have to balance. Like, that's echoed in the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, and you're going to have to balance it and do these two things until one of them falls away. Because the lesser one, the one that isn't up to scratch, isn't what you want, is going to have to be demolished. Three of Cups. Yeah, and there's a celebration, or you're going to be doing this with other people. I think that there could be a thing about being careful about the ego. Here we have balancing again. Something throws this off balance. Because there's a third in here. These are all kind of like twos. There's a third in here, and that kind of throws it off balance, and that's where the Tower comes in. And I don't know how that works. But you get back on track again and move forward with something. But you've done an awful lot of work surrounding getting yourself to a healthy mindset, healthy body, healthy place about your self-worth. And that's what's allowing you to go forward. I just want to see one more thing about that Tower, just to double check and make sure what I'm saying is right. I think it's a kind of it's actually a way of thinking, perhaps, that needs to be deconstructed or left go on. And here we have the Hierophant again, and the choices or confusion. You could be confused about certain teachings, or you could be confused about what you've been heard. I think for some of you, you might be letting go of conditioning to do with a religion or a church, or conditioning to do with authority figures or something like that, and that you will be straddling at the moment, having these very different views to how you used to, or how it is opposing to your kind of religion or your upbringing or whatever that is. But you're going to be straddling both, like both, you believe both at the same time, or they both have space for you at the same time. And I think you're going to be like that for a while, and maybe you have to balance who you are in so far as like, oh yes, I still believe in this, and maybe not showing that you believe in something else. I think you're exploring. I think you're just like expanding, growing, practicing these different ways of thinking, these different spiritual beliefs, religious beliefs, philosophies, practices, ideas. And I think you're thirsty for knowledge of, and you're getting to know them right now, and they're contributing to yourself. I think you're just practicing out loads of different things, and some of those thought processes are going to will fall away, because you can't hang on to everything. Not everything makes sense, and sometimes it causes a bit of confusion, and you might have conflicting and kind of what's that word? Conflicting and opposing teachings and views. So you're going to have to be kind of discerning about this, kind of like this Mercury. Yeah, there's more balance. Look, it's all a balancing act. It's all about you balancing something, or looking at something objectively, fairly, diplomatically. I think you're giving everything and everyone a fair voice. And you're weighing them all up. Goddess of the Earth, an idea connected to imagination, creativity, and nature is coming your way. It's definitely about an idea. This came up too. Goddess of the Unknown, a new chapter in your life is around the corner. Remove fear and embrace the unknown. Be bold and step forward. Make the first move. The Goddess of the Earth is like, this is kind of this two things as well, and it's kind of like this idea and this new chapter. And there's things being left go of. And yeah, Goddess of the Earth, Goddess of the Unknown. I think this is a really, really positive reading. And if anything like this is coming up in May, know that you following your own ideas or following your thought process around whatever teachings you come upon, whatever ideas you come upon, whatever you want to put out there or you want to communicate, is I think the message is not to be afraid, that you can stand up for what you believe in, or you can walk forward in your beliefs, and it's okay to have like contradicting beliefs for a while, because it looks like you're kind of trying to understand and balance everything at the same time. You don't know where you're being led at the moment, but it's so Piscean, so watery. And like with Jupiter there, and it's really beautiful. I think this is all about like expanding your mind, growing your mind, and it taking you on a new trajectory. So Pisces, I hope that resonated in some way, and have a wonderful May.